Hi, Run Your Story family. This is Allison Gilliard with Run Your Story, where every story needs to be heard. And fueling your run stories this month is one of my favorite places to go to and get my booty kicked, and that would be Spring Hill Boot Camp and pack training. Woo-hoo! Let me hear it for all of our coaches that keep us on the pavement through the gym. Guys, we know that we can't cross the finish line without taking care of our bodies, not just on the pavement, but also off the pavement. And at Spring Hill Boot Camp, they are focused on HIIT training, they're focused on butts and guts, they're focused on strength. It's amazing, and the coaches there are phenomenal. And at pack training, same. If you want more of a one-on-one, you want more of a strategic plan, they've got you at pack training. They're absolutely incredible there. Love those guys. What Josh and Natalie have done with pack training and Spring Hill Boot Camp is absolutely incredible. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but on days that I miss, I actually miss going to the gym. So there, I said it. Guys, this is where runners go. They do an extraordinary job. They've done a lot of things that, as we're working out and we do things that are like ankle stability or mobility or whatever it is that we're doing, they equate that to running or pickleball or tennis or whatever your sport is. They say those things, and that way, for me, I can visualize it. I'm like, oh, well, this makes sense. So they do a fantastic job of bringing everything that we need. It's a winning combination, guys. So definitely reach out to our peeps at Spring Hill Boot Camp and at pack training. They would love to have you. I'd love to have you. Saturdays are open workouts. Come hang out with us. We absolutely love it. We also love that Spring Hill Boot Camp believes in running community so much that they created a run club. And it's been so much fun. All the people we've gotten to meet and just hang out and train together. It's been such a joy. And I'm so grateful for Coach Emily Bullock and Spring Hill Boot Camp for saying, yeah, let's do this. So 10 out of 10, highly recommend. So reach out to them, guys. If you don't live in the area, but you come and visit, we'd love to have you. It would be so much fun. We love it. Also, if you don't live in the area, make sure that you are doing some kind of strength training. It is so important. We know that injuries can happen, and this decreases those, and it makes us stronger and keeps us on the pavement longer. So big shout out to our family at Spring Hill Boot Camp and at pack training. We love you guys. Thank you so much for believing in this podcast and for all you do for the running community. And now, guys, all I gotta say is be prepared for one of the coolest people. His name is Shawn McDaniel. Woo, what a story. We interviewed and we met in Tuscaloosa through Wagner's. Love Wagner's Run Walk. They are fantastic. And we actually got to tour the Wagner's team facility where they do all the embroidery and making t-shirts. A really cool setup. And so we got to tour that, and they were very gracious to let us do a podcast interview there. And so thank you to Tammy and the Wagner's team. It's so much fun. We always love going to Tuscaloosa because we get to meet the runners up there. Woo! Guys, you guys are gonna love Shawn. Not only is he a dad, not only has he been running in Tuscaloosa for 20 years, and one of the coolest things is that he talks about the transition that he has seen through running, which is amazing. He shares some great stories that you guys are gonna love. You're gonna giggle a lot. Shawn's just a really cool dude. He's also a superintendent. And I'm telling you, you guys are gonna be like, wow, this dude is just so cool. He's also a race director. We have already talked about how we're gonna go up in June and run his race. Like, such an extraordinary individual. He loves running. Like, loves running. So, he is just so much fun. So you guys are gonna love it. I cannot wait to introduce you guys to him and to hear his story. That being said, thank you, Shawn, for sharing your story. Absolutely incredible, my friend. I cannot wait to see you in Tuscaloosa again. I can't wait to come up to your race. Already looking forward to next June. And I can't believe I just said that. All right, guys, with that being said, get ready, get set, and go run with my friend Shawn and his run story. Well, thank you, Shawn, so much for taking time out of your day. You are one busy guy.
Well, thank you so much. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to being a part of this. I'm honored to have this opportunity to share a little bit about my history and running in the Tuscaloosa community, and it's exciting.
I will say Tuscaloosa has quickly become our second home, and it's because of Wagner's Run Walk and our friend Tammy that got us connected, because anytime we come to Tuscaloosa, we're like, Tammy, who you got? Who do we need to get to meet? And she always gives us the best people. You guys have such a beautiful place to run.
We love coming here and running. It's nothing like getting up early on a Saturday morning, taking a beautiful run, going across the bridge, watching the sunrise, having an opportunity just to clear your mind and raise your endorphins. You feel good physically, emotionally, socially. When you go get a cup of coffee, football season's wonderful. We love coming over and running during football season. I love that opportunity just to go out on the quad, game day, see the tent set up, go out for a run, say roll tide, get a couple roll tides back. We really like it.
Absolutely. So speaking of all the beautiful running that you've been doing, how did you begin? What is your run story, Shawn?
So my run story is I'm actually in high school. We come from a small rural high school, just a couple miles over across the county line from here, from Carrollton. And we started the first cross country team. And so I began in high school back in 1996 running cross country, fall runs. And so part of that training was coming over and joining up on Saturday mornings and running with the Tuscaloosa, at that time, the Tuscaloosa Track Club.
Oh, fun.
So we joined in with the Tuscaloosa Track Club, and we would run 5K races as part of training and competition here to be able to do that. And so that kind of started my launch in running. And then, of course, as I loved the fact that I could get my time down, I could have the challenge. I loved how it made you feel when you finished, how your mind's clear and you feel like you've accomplished something. So I really fell in love with running, and I continued that. And when I graduated, I went to Shelton State Community College here in Tuscaloosa. And so I met a lady by the name of Dr. Murphy, who she taught there, and she was very interested in exercise, and she actually was the head of the exercise science department there. So we spent some time talking a lot and just learned a huge opportunity for the running community here because I'd already met a lot of people. So just made a lot of connections. And then going from 5K training all the time to maybe a little bit more, she connected me with a group here at the university at that time. Ted Capera, just started Mark Rutherford, Mike Higginbottom was a part of that. I'm just trying to think of Ed Freeman, so many guys that were great runners. And so we started training on Saturday mornings. I had Kevin Hancock, Dr. Kathy Capera, she was wonderful. We got together and we ran on Saturday mornings. And so we started these training regiments, and we would put out water stops. On our way in, everybody was responsible. And so what we began to do is we would email the route out like Wednesday, and everybody could look at the route and you could pick how far you wanted to go. And so we just started doing that. And probably 48 weeks out of 52 a year, we came to Tuscaloosa, we ran Saturday mornings. We were committed, training for various races and different marathons or 10Ks or 5Ks or whatever. And so we just became a running community for that. And of course, you had Wagner's at the time. It was emerging to become a running store. I remember when it started in Midtown, we were all so excited because we had Wagner's had been around a long time, but running was on the verge of really taking off.
Oh, so there was no running?
Running store. You could go buy a running shoe, buy a pair of shoes. Of course, that was, y'all guys, running was evolving here. People picking up Runner's World coming out. They had the old 2080 running shoe. Everybody had to, we were buying our stuff in order, but they came into play and we were super excited. You could go in a running store and actually get a pair of running shoes, talk a little bit, let's learn more about it, educate yourself about running. And so that was the process that started me off, and it launched from there. And over the years, it's just so many beautiful relationships with people, that unique people met, interesting people, had a lot of interesting stories on stuff that's happened over the years. You wouldn't believe running on a college campus on Saturday morning could create such it was always an exciting adventure. What you were going to run into we'd start early in the summer mornings, like hot now. We'd start right at the break of daylight or before daylight, even get a couple 3 or 4 or 5 miles in before daylight ever broke. And a lot of times college students hadn't went to bed yet. They were just going home to go to bed. So it could be, so I've got a lot of stories, that stuff I can share with you that people really would say, that really happened? And I say, yes, we got witnesses. About 10 of us can tell you that same story that happened. So took off to running, and then that launched into I was going to college, meeting up, running, and of course then graduated. And once graduated, still working, living in not far in the same distance. I still came over, continued to run in the running community, and continued to be a part of it.
That's incredible. Wow. And so you've gone from 5Ks to how many marathons?
28 marathons,
Wow.
5Ks, numerous. I can't count the number of 5Ks, 10Ks, and halves that we've done. Ran with David Tilley. He's a great friend of mine he's not running anymore. He was older guy at the time. We trained here in Tuscaloosa, and I remember we left home one morning, and it was to come train. It was wintertime. We were actually training for getting ready to go to Memphis to St. Jude. St. Jude's one of my favorite races because you run through the hospital, and you see these children and you see these kids that are just looking for a ray of hope. And it's inspiring to me because I'm at that point, I'm thinking just one more mile, 2 more miles. And anybody that's run a marathon knows you go through a lot of emotion. I compare that to life because when you're running the race of life, so to speak, you have highs and lows, ups and downs. You ask yourself, why am I doing this? Sometimes you go through pain. One minute you feel like crying, the next minute you're happy. Then there's times you look back and you feel so accomplished in what you've been able to do. But that's like a marathon. It's just like the feelings of emotions all within a full 26-mile marathon. But David and I were training one morning, and we left home, and we were new to this marathon training. And the group was kind of, some of them were, it's cold. We got fair weather runners, as I always said. They're going to run when his weather's good, but we're committed. We're going to run regardless because we had to train. We got here, and it was about 38 degrees, and the wind was blowing out of the north, and we started running. And as the morning day broke, it was cold, gloves I remember. We didn't know about like the proper running gear, attire. We just knew to get the right shoe and go run. And we didn't know that. So we got to running and it starts raining and we've got to we're on that training day that day. I'll never forget, it was a 15-mile training day. And we had to get those 15 miles. And it's raining on us and the wind's blowing and we're about 4 miles in, we're freezing. I said, we didn't even bring clothes to change into. We didn't even look. So we finished training. We're rounded like rats. We're on university, and there was this dollar store. Coming back, we're in the vehicle. We had a towel, was all we had. And we pulled into the dollar store and was like, we're going to go in here and buy clothes to change clothes. And we did. That morning, we went in and bought some sweats and so forth and just got clothes. And from that day, we learned that anytime you go training, you carry a bag. And you carry everything you need because in Alabama, the weather could be snowing 1 minute, freezing the next, and raining the next, or storming. So be prepared. So we've had some unique stories, stuff like that's happened over the years. Another one I think you'd find funny is that it's interesting on the campus running at the university, especially when you run down the strip. Everybody knows the strip at the University of Alabama. And we have many times met students who's ran with us. We've had students who run beside us for just a few steps and throw up. We've met students that had shirts on with no bottoms on. Where the old Krispy Kreme donut was at 4:30 one morning, we were about mile 3 out from the rec center parking lot training, and we turned the curve, and Kevin Hancock was with us, and Kevin said, that don't look right. And I said, no. And I said, there was 8 people, 8 college students, butt naked, 4:30 in the morning playing football in the front yard.
Stop.
We were all like, what? Kevin's like, turn left here, turn right. I don't know if there's not another street, Kevin. Don't look, keep running. I don't even think they knew we went by. I said, people won't believe this when we're running. We were over on Queen City one morning, and it was amazing. That morning, we were coming down Queen City, and there was 3 police cars sitting with their lights flashing, and cops were out with their flashlights, and they said, hold up, guys, we're coming outside. Just stop right here just a minute. We may need y'all to turn. And we thought, oh, gosh, it's a murder scene. Something's happened. They found somebody in the park. And what it boiled simply down to is that somebody had been in the park walking that morning. We had placed just a white cooler with a lid on it, no identification. And they thought that was a bomb. And they were just reported it as a bomb. So they were not going to go over as they've been trained to expose. And so we were like, what's going on? They was like, well, we have a suspicious bag. We said, that's our Gatorade. We were actually coming here for a water stop. That was the morning. Our guys laughed. Our whole team laughed. I will never forget that. Ted Capera said, from now on, we have to label. We have to write on the side of the box, water or something for that. And so it was just, there's some stories, crazy things that's happened.
I love a good ice chest story. We have a dear friend in Louisiana, Brittany, and she named her ice chest Helen. And Helen has been through some things. Helen has been stolen and brought back. She's been beaten. She's been left overnight. Yes. And Helen has gone through different sizes and sort of thing. But she's always labeled Helen. So maybe you guys should come up with
Well, we get those white Sprint Mark coolers and we write all over them. So there's no doubt this is runner's water. Do not touch.
Not a bomb. Not a threat.
Not a threat. So we get to do it. There's just been some amazing stuff we run into like that here.
That is crazy.
But you love it. You got to
Yeah.
love it. You just got to love, and you look forward to that, getting up and just going on campus and taking a run. And over the time, the community of Tuscaloosa has done a great job with the Riverwalk, giving new places to run.
Yeah.
I think since 2002, I can't tell you the number of streets that have changed in Tuscaloosa on university campus. Just the updating of the campus, the expansion, the growth. We as runners will run and talk about a street, and they'll say, "What you're talking about?" So that street used to be here. So we ran down that street a long time ago, and I said, "Now we're on Hackberry," and so a new street. So we've had that opportunity to see a lot of that as we came through the community and over time as well.
That's amazing. And you brought up one of my favorite things to do on Saturday morning. I don't know if you guys did this after you run. You did mention you guys go get coffee, but I love going to that farmer's market on the river.
We love it. We love coming down to the farmer's market, and different seasons of the year bring forth different things. And we really enjoy that. And we get through in enough time. They've just gotten open. They're getting going. Not a lot of people.
That's
it's
right,
not crowded. We've had opportunity we go just like we are. Maybe put on a dry shirt, and then here we go looking and just purchasing, and then go home. Or you're thinking, what are you going to have for supper that evening? And we take something home fresh with you to prepare. So all of us really like to run and go by there. We love to go get coffee around. Over the time, I can think of the coffee shops on campus. We used to have the young people don't remember this. The Badass Coffee Shop used to be on campus, right at the Publix intersection.
Okay.
And we used to go there and get coffee and a bagel afterwards every time. And then, of course, we've moved over to the Heritage House. It's just downtown now by the Riverwalk. We've been there a lot of places. We go down there and spend time for coffee. Just different places that we go to. But we have the group. It's evolved over time. It's changed. We used to be fast and real fast. Now we are a lot slower. I'll say that. I'm slowing down over time, your body can only take so much. The pounding, you train hard. And I'm still inspired by people like Dean Carnassus when he ran. I'm following a guy named Nick Baer now. Nick has a podcast too, and he does an outstanding job in training. But I always ask myself, how long can your body hold up to that? Because I want to be running when I'm in hopefully to live to be my 70s, 80s. I want to still be going forward. So I want to take care of my body and be successful. But some of my favorite races, here we have some races that are local. I've been a race director now for almost 20 years. And so we started out with a race called Save the Face. And the reason that it was called Save the Face is because of the 13 Ghosts of Alabama. In Carrollton, Alabama, there's a face in the window. And they wanted to do a fundraiser to raise money to preserve the courthouse in which that stained glass is in. Now, people ask me all the time, is that real? It's not. I said, guys, I've been here all my life. That face has been in that window. I'm really not sure. They've changed the paint a couple times. But I can tell you that if you come run the race and you turn out on Old Carrollton Road Street and you look up, you're going to see the face in the window. And it's Halloween and it's October, and they're going to give you a mug that when you pour hot coffee in it, the face will appear.
Whoa.
When the face does. And people love that cup.
Yes,
they love coming to get that coffee cup
absolutely.
because it's the fall of the year. It's cool, crisp. People love to come pick that cup up, and it has in there. So that's been one of my favorite races. I directed that race. It was started by a guy by the name of Blaine Schilling Long in 96, I think, and then I took over directing the race in 2004. And we've continued to be able to have that race. The name's changed some because they've changed the use of it. It's the Fall Festival Run now for that. I've also, for over 20 years, directed what we have in the summer called the Mule Kick 5K. They have a mule. It was started when the wagons and horses would come to town, and the chamber took over, and we changed it to the Mule Kick 5K Run. And so everybody loves the Mule Kick. It's hot. It's a closeout race before the heat of the season really strikes on, but it's a 5K. And what we do there is we did for years is we gathered all these horseshoes around the community, and we would have them welded together, fixing them as trophies that would hold cups and stuff. And people love those horseshoes.
Absolutely.
It had wrote on the horseshoe, Mule Kick 5K first place age group. They love those trophies. And I told the last race this summer I said, guys, we're about out of trophies. Everybody's used up all the horseshoes. Over the years, we can't find horseshoes anymore. People don't have them. We've come out of old barns and we'd sand them down and clean them up, and people love that, though. They love to come over and get that horseshoe and get the shirt. They love the shirt for the Mule Kick. It'd have a mule on there kicking a chicken or something up in the air because it was called the Mule Kick Chicken Fest. And they love it. And it's a festival. You come over, you run, you get to go to the festival, venue, all kind of.
Wait, are there mules?
And there's mules and wagons coming. You got really like old mule wagon. They ride. People get together, come together, and the old tractors, mules, cars, antiques, and it just draws people from all over the place. Just who come the others to be a part of this little small town festival. But we always kick off with a 5K run. So
How did you come to be race director for that race?
because when you're in a rural community and they know you run and people see you out running all the time, it was started by the chamber. And then the one guy, he did it 1 year, and then he was like, I don't really run. They just asked us to have a run. And so they said, come to me and said, would you do it? And it just has never went away. I've continued to do it every year. Then when I was a teacher, when I first started my degree is in education, so I started as a teacher in 2006. And in 2000, I started coaching cross country. So then I came to know a guy by the name of Charles Tiller. He's Shelton State's cross country coach now. He coached for ACA here in town forever. Great guy, great coach. But he was a mentor to me in coaching cross country because I ran cross country, but I didn't understand so I began my background was biology. I had a master's degree in biology. So I started coaching cross country. And that was unique because then I could take my passion and let other kids discover their purpose. And I say that because you would get kids that really weren't great baseball, may not be a great football player, may not just have their niche yet, but running gave them confidence, discipline. It brought them out to be great young men and women. And they were so happy just to accomplish a mile, 2 miles, and a 5K, just unbelievable. And then to win state in cross country. And so those were I loved those years when I coached. Then I went into administration and I couldn't coach any longer. So when you go into admin, you can't do that. So I started in administration and I love those kids though. And I still see my kids today. They're older and got children of their own right now. And it's amazing because some of them are still running. I ran marathons with some of them, ran half marathons with some of them.
Oh,
They'll text me, you're running, Coach Mack, you're training, you're running. I said, yeah, I'm running. I'm still running. I run now I run Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. May pick up an occasional Sunday afternoon if the weather's nice. Used to, though, I was at least 6 a week every day. And my probably one of my favorite distance to run is going to be, I like a good 6 mile run. A good 6 mile run feels good to me. When I was younger, I liked to keep a good 10-mile base in the summer. That way it didn't take much to hop up to a half marathon, and then you were ready to start training on into marathon training pace. But I've stayed healthy so far. I've had one meniscus injury that I had to have fixed, but so far I've had no problems over running since 2002. And people don't believe that. My wife will tell you that. Well, it's funny at my house because on Saturday mornings, most people's alarm don't go off. My alarm goes off at 4:30. And she's been married to me. We've been over 20 years now, and she's like, that alarm goes off on Saturday. That's going to happen. He's going to get up and go. And Eli, he's 12, and I have a 15, fixed to be 16-year-old, and of course, he's all into sports, exercise, working out. But my 12-year-old, he loves to, Daddy, I'm going to get up. I'm going to go with y'all and ride my bike. And as long as we're on campus, I don't mind. If we're going to be out by the road, I'm like, son, nope, you got to be careful. Even though it's less traffic, but he'll ride with us some. But they just know that I'm going to do that as long as I can. I love it. I think it's wonderful.
yeah.
It resets me. And I've also been a bivocational pastor for 20 years. People say, well, what does Saturday morning do? I said, well, Saturday morning clears my mind from the junk of the week. And I've run during the week too. But Saturday morning, that long run just clears my mind. And then I can sit down, focus on what I need to prepare for Sunday morning. And it just gives me a reset. And I love that because it refreshes me. And I'm ready then. I'm ready to go, ready to get started over, of course. And that's just been something that we really enjoy.
That's amazing. Oh, my goodness. You mentioned one of the lessons that you learned is to always pack a bag and put all your stuff in there. But is there another lesson that you've learned from running? Because you've had all these adventures that you've been on. And as you just said, you get to go clear your mind and just be. So is there something else, another lesson that you learned from running?
There's a lot of lessons I've learned from running. I've learned discipline, to be very disciplined from it. I have learned it's time out there to think. And I'll tell you something else. I've learned, I'm going to use this because I think it's so true. The scripture, we find the Bible in scripture where Paul tells us that to run the race with endurance. And when I run a lot of times, that's perseverance. It teaches me a lot about life.
Yeah.
Because I was a kid that grew up. My mama loved me, my dad loved me, but they divorced when I was 2. And just to share a little bit about what running brings to me, is that my mom raised us, and she didn't have all the money in the world. We didn't have all the fine things in life when I was a kid. And she would tell us, guys, we've got to persevere. We got to be tough. We got to push through it. And we're going to make it. Don't you quit. Don't you give up. So when I started running, I learned that running's just like that. You can't quit. Some days are good days. Some days are bad days. Some days you don't have it. You go out there, but you keep getting back up every day, and you never lay down, and you keep running, and you keep pushing forward. And when you're running, that to me is just a lesson that teaches about life. Life is not going to always deal you what you want. But then what are you going to do with it now? And that's the same thing about going for a run. To me, yesterday was a hot afternoon, humid, and about mile 4, I told them, guys, I don't think I have it today. I'm struggling a little bit. But today's a new day. And we get back up and we go do it again. And how many times in life after you run a marathon, you'll say, I'm never doing this again. It's the craziest thing I've ever done in my life. But the fun thing is, how many times in life have we said, I'm through, I'm not doing this no more, I can't take it. And then we get up the next day and we go forth. And I think running, there's just so much to compare to life, to running, and lessons of not quitting and not giving up and perseverance. And going through college and school, even when I was here, running gave me confidence. It helped me to identify who I am and my purpose. And I'll tell you this, running with the guys that I ran with, a lot of these guys were older. But me as a young guy coming through school, having to work, which was nothing wrong with that, having to pay my way, was able to get scholarships to help. But one of the great things is these guys were mentors to me. My running partners, my friends, they were encouragers. And when I wanted to quit out there, they said, no, you got to keep pushing. And so when I found myself as a coach, I was telling my students the same thing. No, if you just keep going, if you'll make one more mile, you'll get there. Let's just go one more step, go one more to that next light pole. You're going to get there. And that is something to me that is instilled in me is don't quit, don't give up, keep pushing forward. It's the end goal, the prize. Finish. Not just got to finish first. You got to finish.
Yeah.
And that's in a marathon. You got to finish. And that's what I tell myself when I'm out there running, and that's what you have to tell yourself in life. And so because of that, it's taught me to persevere through a lot of challenges. Anything I've gotten in my life, as most people, I've had to really work hard for. And I'll tell people I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. So I had to work for it. And one of the things running did, it grounded me, it leveled me, brought me back to a sense of reality, but it gave me confidence to continue to press forward. So I'm just a little bit about my life, about where I'm at.
So good. Oh,
and I want to encourage other people. I just want to speak life into them and love, like I did when I did this past week. Guys, I want to get out there and run. I said, look, come on, let's start walking. We'll walk together. And no, that'll slow you down. And I said, you're not slowing me down anymore.
That's right.
I can run. I've done. I said, God, I've run 28. I feel like I've done that. I just like to see other people gain confidence and create success, go to races, cheer people on. And I like to be out there with them too, but cheer them on, encourage them, and just see them, leave them light up.
Oh, I love that. That's so good. I love that. That's one of the things that I have friends, and we started a new run club up in our area. And one of the things that they're like, oh, we're holding back. And I'm like, I completely feel what you're saying, and that it's not about me. Like, I've already done this. I've already hit the podium. I've already done all the things I want to do in my running career. Now it's about fueling other people and pouring into them. And I love that you do that. That is phenomenal.
I love it. Makes me excited.
Yeah.
That's what I enjoy. And I look at it too. It does help me to run. It keeps me moving. It keeps me going so that I can continue, and just gives you an encouragement, new people, new motivation.
Absolutely. And it's something fun to be there when somebody becomes a runner. When they run for the first time and you're like, you're a runner, and they're like, I'm not. And I'm like, but you just ran. You're a runner.
Well, when they cross the finish line and they start crying because
it's beautiful.
I've never done anything like this in my life. And to have students come back to you and say, you believed in me when nobody else did. You pushed me when nobody else did. And I said, well, yeah, but somebody did that for me. And they poured into me and encouraged me. And I said, don't think that I started running a marathon the first day I set out to run. I had no idea I was going to ever run a marathon.
Yeah.
I said, but because people invested in me, poured in me, cared in me, good friendships, and they gave me good advice. Yeah. And you learn. And it's nothing like runners talk runner language. People don't understand.
That's right.
We like to discuss things that other people are. We want to talk about the latest shoe. We want to talk about, are we overpronating or underpronating? Or we want to talk about the nutrition, or how you feel after a run, or what the course was like, or what you face in the course. All of these different things. And people are like, what are they talking about? but it's just what we enjoy discussing. And I don't know, but we enjoy analyzing things about running. That to me is, we like to just do that. We're out running, talking about things as well.
Speaking of analyzing, let's analyze your pre-race routine. Do you have one?
Yes.
Okay.
We do have a pre-race. So the night before, I'm going to make sure, the day before that I drank plenty of electrolytes and fluid, because I've ran races where we got there the next morning, the weather changed overnight. Huntsville was one of them. And they told us at the start, guys, whatever your plan time is, you probably need to add about 2 minutes to that, because of the heat index is going to go up, and the humidity level here.
Sure.
Because of the humidity in the air. And they were exactly right, even for the lead runners, even for the Kenyans, they had to follow the same rules. So my routine is to hydrate very well. I enjoy a pasta meal probably the 2 days before, and then I also like a light pasta meal the night before. Now, something that I have really grown to do and like to do is I love French fries with salt on them. And people don't like, but I love to eat that before. That just helps me from not to cramp. And it depends, but then I'm going to lay out the clothes. I'm probably going to wear something that I've worn many times before that I know is not going to create a problem. I'm going to make sure that I have all my gear laid out the night before. I'm going to have I'm going to have my race number attached on. Everything's going to be ready when I go to bed that night to do that. My watch, make sure it's charged. If I'm wearing earbuds or headphones or whatever, I'm going to make sure they're ready to go. And then I'm going to get up. And what I do is to get up in enough time to walk around. I drink water, because you got to go to the bathroom. You got to make sure you go to the bathroom enough time before you go.
That's right.
I'm going to have water, probably hydrate again. Powerade. I like Powerade. I'm a Powerade red or orange or lemon lime. Now we've got all this new stuff. We got electrolytes, all that, which over the years that's evolved. But I'll do that, and then I like to get to the race. Depending on if it's a marathon and it's cold, then I'm going to usually wear a trash bag over me. People wonder why you come out the door with a trash bag on. You walk down the street to keep heat generated in that bag. I'll put on old, like sweats or whatever, that I'm just going to shed and give away through the race of the course. And that's one of the things I do. I like to get up, do that, have that ready, laid out, perfect. But something that I do that probably a lot of people don't is I put a straw underneath my watch band. And the reason I put that straw is because when I go through a water station, I don't stop a lot of times, but I can't drink it without throwing it up my nose and spilling it on my face. So I'll pull that straw out of my watch band, stick it in that cup, get every last drop the cup in the trash, put that straw back under to the next
Shut the
stop.
front door.
Yes.
Do you really?
And we do that. And so we do that. And then, of course, I have a little small bag. I'll pack it with mustard and goo. I like it. Some people are not. I do that, but I take a little mustard with me out on the course, and it just depends on what I'm running. Okay. If I'm running a half and I'm really focused on speed and time, but if I'm running a full and I know it's going to be hilly, it's going to be hot, I prepare. Every body type's different, so you got to know your body and what you train for and what you're going to prepare. Because if you get into, you train here in Tuscaloosa, you got some hills, you can do some training work out to the VA and back. But you go to Nashville to run Nashville rock and roll, and it gets hot in April. You can't tell. And by the time you get over by the pond and the lake, it's difficult. And it can be, your body has just faced, your muscles have faced this huge challenge. You've been on pace the whole time, but it's the terrain, the elevation, so you may cramp. When I ran into that, so I try to make sure that I have all of my stuff that I need with me.
Wow.
That's what I enjoy. I'm real rigid, though, to my routine.
Okay.
My wife will tell you, when we're going to a race, I'm comical to some people that's not running. They're like, well, he's got to eat at a certain time. He's got to be back. He's got to be asleep.
No, I get that. Yeah.
I'm here on business. And everybody else is here, oh, that was a good weekend. It's a good trip. Let's still have fun. Go to Memphis. Oh, we're gonna watch the Ducks. Well, you better watch them at 4, because we're not watching them late tonight when they come, because they're not going to march in and get in the fountain as I'm going to be in the bed. I got a race tomorrow.
That is great.
So I'm excited, and it's wonderful. And of course, I'm that guy that after I run, how you have to run a marathon, you feel good. First you don't feel good, but then you're on that, I call it the marathon high for the next couple of days. That is, my wife gets tickled, because she's like, you can't hardly walk, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is so wonderful, you can't move. And she's like, listen, when you come home, I'm not bringing you tea, I'm not toting anything to you. If you can run 26 miles, you can do whatever you need to do. I'm like, oh, but yeah, I ran. She said, don't tell me you ran 26 miles. You knew you were going to do that in 6 months ago. So it's plenty of our house that's over the years. And she runs too, and she loves to run. But she says, sometimes you just carry this to the extreme. I said, yeah. I said, yeah, I do. I said, but I did good. I ran hard, had a great time. So I don't care what time you had.
The world is still going.
Just the world is still turning. We got to keep going. That's exactly.
That is awesome. I love that. So you cross the finish line. Is there a certain meal that you want? Is there something that you're like, I need to have this?
When I cross the finish line, depends on where I'm at.
Okay.
If you're in a certain area, like for example, if you're in Savannah, you're going to want Paula Dean's. If you're in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, you're going to want a cheeseburger in Paradise Place. You just got to know where you are to what's out there to what you're going to get. If you're in New Orleans, it could depend on where you are, what your location is. You always got to go by Cafe de Monde and get a beignet. So it just depends. And then that's kind of what we base it off of. Wherever we're going is what we're going to have. Like in Memphis, there used to be the spaghetti warehouse. And then afterwards, you would go there and leave. And then you could, depending on Rendezvous. Rendezvous was right across the street from it. So it just depends. And that you say, well, that's crazy. I've been to all these cities and I know all these restaurants. And when you go somewhere, you look, where am I going to get my meal the night before? And where am I going to get to eat when I finish? Because you definitely got to have the nutrition to do that. So it just depends where we are, what we've looked up, what we're looking for, but not particular. Just something good.
So let's go into running days. So you're getting ready to go for a run. What is a running item that you cannot run without?
My watch.
Okay.
See, I don't know what happened because I thought back and I wore that garment when it was huge. And then I thought, well, you know, when you started running in 19, you had a watch, but all you put was your time. And now I don't know how I run without my pace, heart rate, elevation, all of this data.
Okay.
That syncs to your phone. And it just over time, if I run, that's another thing, running without my watch, I don't worry about pace. I wouldn't worry about pace. I wouldn't worry about speed. I wouldn't worry about time. I just let your body feel that.
Yeah.
And we discussed this running a lot. The guys did. We said, what if we just ran without our watch? And I said, I don't know, but if I fall down and it's on, please stop it. If I fall over and my garment is on, please hit the stop button before y'all check on it. Because we're very rigid about that. And I don't know, I think that's one of the things I just can't hardly run without no more is my watch. And I think we've become so dependent on it, and we like the data it gives us. We like the pace. We like to know what our VO2 max is now with the new 945s and the 745 Garmin's. Running is a cheap sport, really. You think about it, racing, fishing, that's spent thousands of dollars. But in running, that's one thing. Shoes, shoes have gone up, but I love to try different shoes too. I love to try different shoes, and I just like this. I just want to know about them. Because once I do try them one time, I know if I like them. If I really like them, I'll go back. If not, I'm okay, on to the next one. But that's something that I enjoy doing, and but it's not that expensive. Yeah, watches can be expensive. You keep clothes rotated in and out, and things. But race fee. Now, if you're racing every weekend, it probably could be. But to me, it's a great sport that does a lot for you.
Absolutely.
To do that as well.
Do you have a favorite running shoe right now?
Right now, I am running my favorite, probably one of my favorite running shoes, the new ASICS Nova Blast.
Yeah.
I'm loving the Nova Blast. It's light. It's got it's something about the impact, and I like the Nova Blast. Now, the thing that I run into is that some shoes, I overpronounce a little bit. So, but some shoes, it doesn't affect me. I can tell it in my knees a little bit, but other shoes that it will. So I have to determine running the shoe a little bit to know if I like it. But I fell in love with No Blast.
Yeah, I'm between my ASICS and my New Balance right now. They're fantastic.
They are.
They are so good.
ASICS has been a running shoe for a long time. When I started running, the old 2080, 2050, 2020, those were the running shoes. We had a good foot forkness, they fit, they could, and then we've just evolved to, actually it was a 10, we've evolved. And I noticed that about New Balance. They come back with the old number that ASICS had. And I was telling my wife this. I had some pictures of some old running stuff. I said, "You remember those shoes?" And she's like, "Yeah." I said, "Now that's a 1080 New Balance." She's like, "You've been doing this way." So they've changed.
I love that. Well, they just keep getting lighter and lighter. Like my New Balance that I got from Wagner's.
Yes.
They came in the mail and he gave me the box, and I was like, "Are the shoes in here?" Like they were like super light.
Super light.
I was like throwing over the family. I was like, "Yo, check out this shoe."
It's amazing though, over the years, I say this over 20-something years, how shoes has become such a science.
Oh, absolutely.
Biomechanics, like we didn't realize all this back when we first started running. And it's probably why a lot of the runners ran just and whatever, and we have probably more knee problems and things like that. We didn't know. And running has become such a science that I love to read the research articles and what's latest and cutting edge. And then now I'm able to read and compare to before, because we all went through this barefoot craze.
Yeah,
Everybody did. And I'm like, I didn't really buy into that. You can't barefoot that far to me.
Well, especially in the South.
Yeah,
no way.
no.
Well, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we've been through all these different, I think, eras of running. But one of the greatest things is that to read the science behind it and see how it starts to make sense.
Yeah.
And I used to run with a guy here at the university. He ran with us. He was here wearing his PhD in exercise science, named Jason Suso. And he was very much into the science of the VO2 max and running and how to train your VO2 max. And at that time, he was in his 30s, and I was in my 20s. And so we really spent a lot of time doing heart rate. We wore before the Garmin would keep it. We actually wore
Chest straps.
chest straps.
Yeah.
We love the chest straps, but we was trying to get the most accurate data we could find to do that.
So I love how you have seen running evolve the way that it has. That's really cool. That's. You mentioned earbuds. So do you listen to music?
When I run, if I'm out during the week training by myself, I listen to music. I listen to podcasts. I listen to sermons. I listen to, just depends on that. A lot of times at home, I say when I say at home, not running in Tuscaloosa on Saturday, but just at home, I will run either Tuesday morning or Tuesday evening. If I run Tuesday morning, then I listen to usually some type of morning devotion with some worship music or something like that I sync to my watch or use to take my phone with me. But if I run in the evenings, I usually run with a couple different guys. I run with a chiropractor. He's late 50s right now. This guy's running. He runs slow for me because I'm about an 8:30, 9-minute pace guy now, but he's a 7. He's a 7. Look, he's for 13 miles at 6:15, 6:30. He's unbelievable. But he'll run with me. So we run together in the afternoons for that. But Thursdays we run morning time. So if I do, I usually wear it. But now I'm telling you what, I like these new shocks. These new shocks because I can run in them and I can hear and I can talk. So I like that.
Okay.
I'm really evolved to that. I really evolved to that. I bought them things I'm sure about. These things are going to sit on my head, how they're going to feel. But I'm sold.
So
ran in them yesterday afternoon.
What is your music playlist?
Okay, now when you go to my music playlist, I have a music playlist. And I like 80s.
Okay.
I'm the 80s rock and roll kind of guy. I enjoy that. Some new, and I pick songs. Now I love a playlist, Uptown Funk, just different music that's upbeat for that. Now, my kids, they like country music, and that's fine. But now I can't run to some. I gotta have some upbeat type music, and that's really what my playlist is. And it's older music, 80s classic rock. That's just 80s. Guys, the 80s and 90s was the best music. I mean, come on. That was the best days of the music, and I enjoyed that. And I take it on back a little bit over to, I tell them a lot of times, Bon Jovi, taking it back to AC/DC and so forth. I enjoy that.
Okay.
Helps you up, get you going.
Do you have a favorite recovery tool?
One of my favorite recovery tools that I enjoy is I don't know what we would call them now, but we bought them, is for my legs.
Oh, the compression boots?
Compression boots. I don't know if they have some other name they use now, but those are probably the best for a marathon. Those really just revitalize your legs and bring them back into place. To me, that's the best recovery tool for long distance runners to be able to use. Now, when I first finished short runs and stuff, and it's fast twitch muscle, I use the roller on my legs. I really like the roller. And stretching. That's something on Saturday mornings. It's funny because here at the university, we used to leave from the rec center or behind Wagner's store there. And so we would all be laying out there with our legs up against the wall and our feet in the air, and everybody would have a towel, and we would be stretching and pulling and flexing, and people drive by, and we're a bunch of guys laid out there with their feet stuck up in the air. And it's funny because years and years from running from the rec center on campus, we had a dumpster there. And you could open the dumpster door and go behind it and change clothes when you finish running, and then go get coffee.
Okay.
So we would go out underneath the pavilion at the rec center by the pool area, and they'd be opening up the pool that morning, and we would, in the summer especially, and we'd be out there, all these guys laid out there running shorts, their feet stuck up in the air, and then they're one by one coming out behind the dumpster, and people are coming by. But the best part is we're behind the dumpster one morning we had one guy behind the dumpster. Here comes the garbage truck. No. And we're going, who's going to get up and tell him? Who's going to stop the garbage truck? Nobody's going to tell him. And then get out to swing the door open, and he comes running out. Whoa, wait a minute. It was like, this is our changing station. This is our changing area. And so we always laughed about that because now we're like, who's going to stand guard while I go to the and so I'm stretching, but if he's seen it coming, I'll get up. That's right. We may not. So we always made jokes because when we went back there, what would we have back there? And because stuff gets put behind dumpsters. And so it was funny because over a long time when we would go back there to change, we had a place to hang stuff. Like, oh, well, look here, they did it. Then we had a chair one time, so it's getting better. We sit down now. We have to hold on the walls and try to fall, changing it. Only runners laugh about this stuff. Right, yeah. We have this conversation. Everybody else is just looking at each other. And we're like, this is getting better. We got a coat rack and a chair back there. It's coming again. I said,
now you need a porta line.
Yeah, we're going to be okay. This is good back here behind. It was like we'd go change, and then everybody get in the car and go eat breakfast together. It's wonderful. I mean, we just made it was great.
Do y'all still go back there and change?
We still go back there and change. We have stand guard. We have to watch.
The University of Alabama hears this, and they're like, someone go move.
Yes. Well, we always make jokes. It was over by the pool at Riverside Pool, and I said, I wonder how many cameras are around.
Right.
I said, well, they've never called us out on it. It's amazing, too, because you get up, you go to the bathroom more times, you're running, you get your body ready to go for a run, and that's early. So when you get up early, you don't have a lot of time to leave. So it's kind of a joke because we come in here, and we come into campus, and we have friends. We made friends with a lady at the Shell station, worked there for a year, sweet lady.
Nice.
But we'd pull up every morning early, about 4:30. Was going to start at 4:45, and she knew it was coming. And she said, I cleaned the bathrooms for you guys this morning. We thank you so much. They were there message. Yeah, we had some coming here about 1 o'clock sick.
Oh, no.
And she said, I took care of you, though. And we just became such good friends with this lady that worked at the Shell here. She worked the night shift, midnight shift, and she was always so good to us. She knew we'd come through, and we was going to use the restroom in the morning before we go run. Well, then they built the bus station. So then we was able to go to the bus station, and we didn't use that anymore in the morning times. And then, of course, it's funny, game day. Okay, you can't find any. You got the bus station and the Shell station. You go to the restroom now if you're on campus running. If you're on campus, and so you're out there running, you're running 13, 14 miles. You got to go to the restroom sometimes. And so now when we run on game day, it's wow. There's behind the quad. It's 30 porta potties. We're so excited. We're like, where are you going? To the quad. So we got plenty, and they're all clean because we're the first ones in. And nobody's used them. And we laugh about that. We're like, well, we know we'll have restrooms today.
Listen.
We won't have to go far.
Oh, yeah. Our first time running, I was like, whoa. And my daughter's like, yeah, we get put out like Thursday, Friday. And I was like, you mean to tell me you could come run this? And it's great. It's glorious.
It's glorious. And another thing is unique is going out on the quad on those Saturday morning runs. And there was a lot happening. And so I'll tell you this, we're running the set game day up in front of the stadium. And so we're out, the police are out, everything's secure, lockdown, all that. Well, we knew a guy on campus who ran some with us a lot. He joined us that morning early, and we're coming through campus, and they bring all kind of people into game day to put on a show. And so we come through, and all of a sudden one morning we're running through, and it's on up in the morning. People are gathering game day, and he corrects some of his buddies, and so they get together with us, and it's like we're special. And they get these, like you'd call Secret Service type guys. They're all surrounding us, and they're jogging with us, and they carry us right up through the back of game day. And people are coming and going, who's that? Who are they bringing in? It was just us running through. We were just getting through the backside of game day to get around. And I said, who can say they've ever been escorted almost on the stage at game day but passed by? So that, and of course, we get to see, we've been there before, of course, to see Coach Saban, a lot different people you get to know in the community as well. Just different people you come in contact with. And you learn people that you don't know that don't really run in the group, but you see them out running every once in a while to pretty prominent people here on campus.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Love that. Do you do any cross training when you're not running?
Yes. I love to go to the gym and work out. That's one that I do. I did the elliptical. I'm an elliptical guy. I love to ride the elliptical as part of my cross training. Got into biking a little bit.
Okay.
Not crazy. I'm not a biker just yet.
Okay.
I'm going to have a little more to do to be a biker. But I do cross train. I do love the elliptical. I love the new Arctic Runner.
Oh, wow.
Stepper.
Yeah. Okay.
Love those as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, I do a lot of cross training, especially now that my son, he's into football. He loves working out, so I go to the gym with him. And that's a hard balance, too. When I was younger, go to the gym, you work out. Now it's like you're fighting it, too. You're trying to stay lean enough to run, maybe to keep a good pace, to be fast. I just ain't able to do that anymore. And then I'm working out, I'm trying to gain muscle. That don't help me a whole lot. So I'm fighting that balance. It's like I had to sit down and say, all right, what do you really want to do? Do you want to run? Do you want to lift? Because you can't, I tell my son all the time, I'm not playing linebacker.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure that out.
There, yeah.
It's a balance, but I love the running, and I can't give it up.
Yeah. Well, and running is a one-legged sport.
Yes.
And so I love where I work out at because they do a lot of run-specific exercises. So you may have a weight, but you're going to do it on one leg.
Correct.
And you're just like, whoa. And then you see where you're deficient at leg-wise, or ankle stability, or what you need to work on. You're just like, whoa, that is crazy. And you would have never realized that if you were on both legs.
And I do a little CrossFit, too. I enjoy
There you
CrossFit.
go, yeah.
I think CrossFit's good. I modified. I don't want to be too hard on my shoulders and joints, but I enjoy it. I think it brings something different, keeps you thinking, keeps the body changing. And so that's something that I enjoy. I love fitness, exercise, nutrition. Some of the things that, I used to do cross country is used to go to running camp and run, go spend the weekend and go up and do Mentone. That's a place North Alabama here. Before you get to Chattanooga, it's got a great park, a lot of area to run. Love going out weekends, going for a morning run, having activities, swim, rest, and do stuff through the day, and then maybe an evening run before dinner. Just, it's unbelievable.
That is so cool. Oh.
That's it. And I'll tell you another favorite race, a lot of people don't know, in Alabama, there's something called, on the 4th of July here, been doing this for years, they have a 7 a.m., it's at Oak Mountain State Park. It's called Peavine Falls. And what you do is 3.5 miles up the side of the mountain. And I would say up, you're changing elevation all the way up to the top of the mountain, over at Oak Mountain. And you get to the top, and they got water. They give you water and all that. And then you come back, you come down, and you cut through the trail. And it's not a race about the person beside you. It's a race against the course. Because of the climbing the hills are so difficult. But coming down the hills, they're pretty steep.
Sure.
So you got to hold back, and then you break into the trail. And then you've got to keep your footing. And it's an 8.2. And so you got to, that last mile, you got to keep your footing and stay focused coming through the trail, which slows you down, but you're struggling at that point. Your heart rate's been elevated. You've just come off you flew down the hill, and then you get to the finish, and you get watermelon and T-shirts. And look, what's so cool, this race for many years was $10. And it would be 500 people show up on the 4th of July morning to run this race. And we loved it.
Yeah.
It was incredible. I love to run Peavine Falls. And I've done it probably for the last 15 years, but I didn't do it this year because we were on a mission trip. I was leaving out of the country. So, but if I'm back, I'll be there next year, hopefully.
Wow.
Back doing it again.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Dude, you just keep putting more and more race suggestions in our box here.
Yes, great race. People love it.
You have been around just so many different kinds of people. But let's say that somebody's listening to you, or they do come up to you and they're like, Shawn, I want to get started in running, but I don't know where to start at, or I'm coming back from an injury. So what is a piece of advice you would give them?
Okay, if you're getting started running, don't try to go from no running to what other people do. Every person is their own individual self. And so therefore you've got to start depending on your body, your type, how much fitness you've been accustomed to. And then you've got to start slow. And I think if you only can run for 10 seconds or 20 seconds or whatever and stop, walk, run, walk, you've got to start small. And then you begin to, it's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. So just because you don't think today was a good day, you're going to quit, don't quit. Continue to persevere and continue to be able to press forward, keep up with it. And I would also say, go out if you want to start by yourself. But get a friend too. If you walk, jog, work your way up, get yourself up to a quarter mile, half mile, and then go out and see what you can do. See how far you can actually go, and let that be your benchmark. And say, tomorrow, I'm not going to go that far. I'm only going to go less. And I think consistency is what I've seen over the years is the key. You got to be consistent. To be a runner, you got to stay with it, stay after it. And when you look back over 6 months to a year, you'll be amazed and say, this time last year, I was at this point, and this time this year, I'm here, but I've been consistent through it. And so coming back off an injury, I can speak to that because I had a meniscus injury, and we're anxious to get back. But one of the things is we need to definitely make sure that we do our therapy. We need to make sure that we are pain-free coming off of an injury, and we'll just be patient. There's other things we can do, like cross-training in other areas. Yes, you may not get that running if you get to go run, but you still get to keep your heart rate up. You still get to do things that will keep you where you need to be. Now, you may not start back out, but you don't want to start out too soon because you can re-injure too early. So you want to make sure that you take your time, and and I know I'm talking to runners because I know how runners are. We get out of the hospital, be able to start tomorrow, and we can't. I went through that with a meniscus, and so I had to take my time, work my way back in, and I remember my first run after that. Don't think you're going to go back and run 3 miles of where you were at. I went out that first day, and I did a half-mile jog, and I thought it was just different, new. I had meniscus had to settle in, and I thought, I was come home, I was very discouraged. I'm like, I was only a half mile, it's painful. I let it heal a couple of days. I didn't go back for 2 to 3 days. I come back, I did a half mile, didn't feel it. Then I went on up to a mile. I felt it again. So I had to work back. And then I went again, and I felt it again. But then eventually I was able to get back. But it took time. And so I would encourage anybody that's coming off of an injury to take your time, be positive, find other areas that you can exercise in. And that's what brought me to an elliptical. I learned a better cross-training method. And I think cross-training, if it's either run never again or it's be able to run the rest of your life. So what I've had to tell myself is I may not can do 26, but if I can do 3, that's a great day. If I can get on the elliptical every other day, that's a great day. And then I can still train, because I've seen a lot of runners over the years just keep pushing to the point they can't run anymore. And they become so discouraged, and they just say, I give up, and they quit because their body can't take it. And so if we will slow down and cross-train and realize that every runner, if you've been running over any period of time, goes through a high peak. I look back at my race time, I say, wow, I ran that in 1:02, ran that in 1:15 this time. Well, I ran it, and it's okay. Your body's going to go through seasons.
Yeah.
And I think it depends on when a person starts running. And then you got to wear on your body. I've ran since 2002, 99 before that. And I've met guys that just started 5 years ago. And they're doing great 5 years ago. And they will continue, I think, to do great, except you got to put those number of years in running. It adds up. Over time, it does wear you out. So you want to balance. That's important. I think cross-training is important. I think from a heart rate perspective, every time you go out, you push your heart, you run hard, you keep an elevated heart rate. But what if you back off and just cycle, or just sit and cycle for 45 minutes? You keep an elevated heart rate around 120, whatever your target heart rate is, but you're still exercising and you're building your body up stronger. So I would encourage them to do that. I think that's important to do that as well. For me, that's important, but be careful. But start out slow. And always great to have a friend, and it's always great to get a group. I think if you find a group of people, that helps. Join a running group, but don't think because you join that running group that you got to run with that guy that's been running 5 years. And when he's talking about a 7:15 pace, don't even, congratulations, that's great. Hey, how'd you do that? Ask questions. Let them tell you where they started. Well, and that's what a lot of times that's what I enjoy, just meeting people, talking to them about where they are.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. That's one of my favorite things to do, which is why we also have a podcast about it.
I love it. Well, I love it. I love it.
So you've talked about there are times where you're like, it's a bad run. And I love how you've hit on that not every run is going to be great, it's going to be glorious. Is there a mantra? Is there a saying that you have, or a verse or something that you tell yourself to where you'll just keep going?
Well, when I hit those tough runs, and depending on where we're at, I'll tell you what I'll do. If I'm out, not in a race, I won't. In a race, I'll speak Philippians. Actually, when I'm in that, it just depends. I will speak of continue to run forward, continue to press hard, continue to do well. Don't quit. I'll tell myself that. But now, guys, if I'm out for a training run, like yesterday, it was 98 degrees, humidity's settling up to the top. I'm 4 miles in. Heart rate's running 175. I'm starting to struggle. I'm feeling chill. I quit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a quitter. I
Yeah,
stopped.
no, yeah.
And the reason
You're
I tell you
smart.
I
I'm
start
smart.
is because I know tomorrow I can go back out, and if the weather's cooler and I feel better, I know I can run 6-10 miles if I need to. So those type situations, I tell everybody it's not going to be a good day. And some days you just don't have it.
Yeah.
And those days you don't have, doesn't mean you don't quit, doesn't mean you're a bad runner, doesn't mean you hadn't trained properly. You could even feel it. But a lot of times I will evaluate my runs and I'll write. I do. I keep up with my Garmin, my watch. I make notes.
I'm shocked by that.
You're shocked.
That
about
is
that.
shocked.
And so I can look back and I'll know that I didn't drink enough water. Maybe I didn't get adequate, just because of the schedule that day or whatever the case may be. And you can pinpoint to that direction, and it's okay. That doesn't mean I'm not going to go out tomorrow and perform great. Okay. Early morning running. I'll tell you this: getting up early. Some people rise and do very well, but sometimes getting in the mornings can be tough.
Yeah.
And something that I have found is that the tougher it is to get up, once you get going, the better run you have. I've been up and had a great run and started running, and it not been a great run that morning. I don't know. The body just didn't respond to it. So you can't quit. You can't give up. And you got to know your body. You got to know yourself as a person. But that's one of the things that I really enjoy. You don't never know how a run's going to turn out.
Yeah.
Because if you're running long distance, just for example, or if you're running a short distance, you may say, it's going to be a good run. I'm going to have a great time, and not so great. But you can run long distance, and you don't know through 18 miles what's going to happen, how your body's going to adjust to that, how you're going to react to that. So I think you just have to listen to your body and be smart. Pay attention to the elements, too, of the weather. Because I think something that's dangerous, and we've seen that, is, especially in Alabama and part of Florida, stuff like that, the heat.
Will win every time.
It'll win every time.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm going to be honest. The heat will win every time. So you got to be smart on it. I'm just telling you got to be smart. I can go on a cold day a whole lot more and a whole lot more.
Hey, to the man.
Yeah, but the heat will win every time, and you can't compete with that. So you got to be smart about it.
It's also, like you said, and you went in on such a great aspect of that, is to know your bodies, to know this doesn't feel right. I had that happen earlier this week. I went for a run, and I was like, here's my training plan. I got it. I knew what I was supposed to do. And I didn't even make it 2 miles. And I turned around and I was like, man, I'm just not feeling good. And I looked down, and my black pants were just full of salt. I just sweated so much. I didn't realize how much I was sweating. And I was like, you know what? I still got to go to work. Yeah, I still got to make it to tomorrow.
Right.
So I'm like, we're just going to put this one in the bank. We did something. And then I was like, but also, like, now I'm going to have to try to catch up hydration-wise because I've lost all of that. So I love that you said that. Know your body and know where you are. That's very good.
You got to.
Yeah.
You got to know that as a runner. You got to know and feel in your body. It's just like preparing for a marathon. Well, we take that for granted as runners sometimes. We don't prepare every day that we just, I'm going for a run. We get used to that.
Yeah.
Runners get used to that. And we don't realize, well, maybe I haven't had enough nutrition. Maybe my electrolytes are off today a little bit. So I need to make sure that I prepare for that. And especially when it's warm in Alabama, you got to prepare.
Because
the humidity.
It will take you down.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will do that as well.
Do you have any more running goals? Because you've done a lot in running.
For me, right now, I want to stay healthy. I want to run to stay healthy. It's just something that's just, for me, is to go back out and I'd like to run the Western States. I'm a 50-miler guy. I'm getting to that point. I look at a lot of those guys that's doing it.
Okay.
And the training aspect of it, that's something that's, to me, to run a marathon is to run a marathon. You can run it in a 3:20, you can run it in a 4:15. It's a marathon's a marathon. I've done so many of them that I'm like, okay, guys, it is a marathon. But what's the next challenge? But then I'm having to remind myself as I'm getting older, and there's a lot of guys older than me running faster, but as I've ran all these years, I got to pay attention to my body. I listen to my body. And so I just want to make sure that I'm healthy first and stay healthy in the training process. And making sure that I'm training correctly and that my body's responding correctly. And that's the goal for me, because I want to continue to be able to run. It's more than, to me, it's not about racing anymore. It's how you feel, and it's what it does for your body and staying healthy.
Absolutely.
And I'm inspired by a guy here in our community named Dr. Richard Snow. Snow's probably in his 80s, and he's been running since I can remember starting the track club. And last I see, he's still running. Wow. He's not super fast, but he is very committed.
That's a goal.
And I love that about him. I admire that, look up to him. He's retired now, but Richard he's been phenomenal over the years.
That's amazing.
And he's amazing. And that's a goal to me, is I say, hey, I want to be like that guy.
Absolutely.
I want to get up every day. Because a lot of friends ran with us in groups, and different ones that's not able anymore. And I think we pushed too hard. I think we didn't cross-train properly. We might not have had the knowledge of science that we have today, and they're not able to do it anymore. And they talk about all the time, I wish I could run like I used to. And I say, or I wish I could just run. And I don't want to be that guy that says, hey, guys, I'm still running, I'm still moving, maybe slow as a turtle, but I'm still going.
That's right.
So, yes.
When you're not running, what are you passionate about? What fuels you?
What fuels me when I'm not running? Well, one, my wife and my children, my family, I love spending time with them. I love enjoying a cup of coffee. That's what I'm going to do when I leave here. I'm gonna have a good cup of coffee. I love coffee connoisseur. I like fresh coffee. I don't like burnt coffee, brewed. But I love a good cup of coffee, and I love to sit down, and I love to read a book and love to travel. And so I'm reading John Maxwell's leadership book right now. I love to read a book. I love to travel. And one of the things that's relaxing to me, it's not to me, I love to cut grass. I cut my grass. I think it's, we have a pool, and I tell them I'm looking at what my future will be like in the future. Probably will be to clean the pool every morning after a run, come home and make sure the pool's good to go, because my boys love swimming, love being in the water. And then I love to cut my grass. And so I'm pretty particular about my yard.
Okay.
So I do a lot of yard work.
I hope any of your students that hear this as the new superintendent, that they're like, probably go roll that yard.
Look, I have 2 boys, and let me tell you this. My yard starting in, let's just say September. From September to December, we wake up over the weekend, and my cameras are going off. They figure they know where they are. They know how to, but because of that, my yard gets rolled 30 times. People don't understand it. When I explain that to them, I had to move toilet paper off my truck so I can go run in the morning to see to get here. So I'm driving over here and toilet paper's blowing off the side of my truck. Yeah. But that's funny you said that, because we ran a lot of races. I'll tell you this, porta potties. Dr. LaSuso ran with us, and he's exercise physiologist. So we're up in Birmingham, going to run the Mercedes. We're fired up. I mean, he's going to win. He's fast. He's the top guy. I'm glad to be here. Hope I can complete this hilly course. 26 miles, and the gun goes off, and he's coming out of the bathroom, and he wants to be in the front corral.
Oh.
He's got the time for it, pace for it. It's the greatest thing. He's got the door catches. He's coming out the door. He runs at least 30 yards. Toilet paper, it's like he has completed this line to pull out toilet paper tore. The part we're laughing about is that toilet paper is like John Wayne. It is so tough. It did not even tear, and he's stuck to his breeches coming out of there, and he's running. And I tell you that because some of the toilet paper these kids roll my yard with, it lasts till I cut the grass in the spring. Toughest stuff I've ever seen in my life in the tree. It can come a storm, and I still got tissue hanging in my tree, and I'm thinking, now I can't burn that out. I can't reach it. How do you get that out? And that stuff's still hanging on. I'm like, and they wonder why people's septic tanks stop it. It's got to do with this toilet paper these kids are buying. This cheap John Wayne stuff. Charmin would have been gone. That's what I tell my children all the time. So yes, as a superintendent, as a teacher, as a wife, as a teacher.
Oh,
yes,
y'all don't stand a chance.
we don't stand a chance. And now that I have 2 boys in the school system too.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're like. They wanted to hear stories about us growing up as kids. Daddy, did y'all roll yards? Yes, we did. We do still. That's something people over here just not accustomed to in the city. They're like, rolling a yard. I'm like, yeah, they'll probably lock you up over here. But that's normal around that place because kids have nothing else to do. So that's funny.
You're
But
like,
it's
y'all
true.
should all be running. Should all be running. You all have something to do.
You'd have something to do. That's right.
Leave my yard alone.
Alone. Please leave my yard alone. But I do love keeping that, and they'll tell you that. I pick that toilet paper up. Yeah, we cut it up. Rain is still in the yard. It's stuck to the ground. It's amazing.
Shawn, this has been so much fun.
Well, I have had a good time and love talking about running. It's been fun, and I love the Tuscaloosa running community. I just love to be a part of that. I tell them, I sound like I'm the old guy, and I feel like I am becoming the old guy because I've been running since 16, 17 years old over here, and I've seen so many people. A lot of guys gone home, some passed away, some still running, some not. But that's what Tammy and I laughed when we had the Mule Kick run. Tammy came by, and we had the race, and she said, golly, Shawn, she pulled out some guys that don't run anymore. Came over, Ed came over, a lot of us guys, Richard came over, we were all talking. Oh, y'all remember that morning, remember this race? And I said, God, y'all know, and here I am, I'm 45, and you guys y'all were 45. And I said, they said, in other words, you're saying we're advanced. I said, yeah, you're advanced in age. That's what you are, you're advanced. So I was like, we just laughed, though, just to meet new people, part of the running community. It's fun.
Absolutely.
But I've loved it. I've enjoyed it. Enjoyed just sitting around talking about running.
Yeah. Your heart for running is amazing, and I can't wait to see what else we get to do, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. And thank y'all for doing it.
What a story, or should I say stories? I appreciate Shawn so much. I appreciate his heart and the love that he has for community. He's been a coach. He has watched running just evolve the way that he has. Like, it is so much fun. It was such a joy to hear his story and just to know him as a person. I did not know anything about him prior. And so this is what I love about this podcast. Like, this is what I love, is getting to know somebody and know their story. And just, he's just Mr. Smiley. Like, he just smiled throughout this whole thing because you could just tell he loves his students, he loves his family, he loves his faith, he loves his running. And he was just like, I love running. And it was just such a cool thing. And just all that he has poured into the running community. And again, I go back to what he has seen in running. And again, all the stories that he shared about running on the campus of Tuscaloosa, Roll Tide. But more than that, how he has seen the city transition and when Wagner's Run Walk came, and just all these cool things that now he can remember back and be like, well, yeah, that wasn't a thing. So what a cool gift, and that he shared that on this podcast. Thank you, Shawn, so much for that. Thank you for letting me share your story. I know you are a very busy individual, and so you taking the time to do this was such an honor. So thank you for sharing your story and your heart and all that you've done into the running community and all that you continue to pour into. Like, it's absolutely incredible. And I can't wait to see more of you in Tuscaloosa. It's going to be amazing. So thank you, Shawn, so much for your story. And again, huge shout out to Wagner's Run Walk and the Wagner's team for allowing us to interview at their headquarters. That was pretty cool. Such a really cool thing. And again, thank you to Spring Hill Boot Camp and to Pack Training for believing in the running community, for backing us and keeping us on the pavement. Guys, it's where the runners go. So if you are not a part of Spring Hill Boot Camp or Pack Training, reach out. You should be, because it is so much fun. And I love how people have been doing that and been like, hey, Allison, how do I get involved? And so I love that. When I'm passionate about something, I'm passionate about it. And fitness and strength training and running, guys, they all go hand in hand. And we should all be passionate about it as runners. So thank you to Spring Hill Boot Camp and to Pack Training. You guys are rock stars. As always, thank you to our tech man, our editor, all the things at Gilliard Tech Services. Guys, he updates the website. He does an extraordinary job. He gives so much to Runner's Story, and we could not and we would not be where we are today if it was not for Greg Gilliard and Gilliard Tech Services. Absolutely, hands down, recommend him. So if you are an entrepreneur or you're a city and you're like, we need to update our website, whatever it is that you're looking at, definitely check him out at Gilliard Tech Services. You guys will not be disappointed. You can find more information on our website. You can also find information on social media, and you can also Google him and Gilliard Tech Services. Guys, he's got a website. It's amazing. Go check him out. To our Patreon family members, absolutely love and adore you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And again, you are a reason that we're here. We would not and could not be where we are if it wasn't for you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for believing in this podcast, for believing in the running community the way that you do. They're all incredible people that are Patreon family members. And if you guys want to join. We'd love to have you. There's different levels. We love to get you involved. And we hope that our Patreon family members are happy. we absolutely love and adore you guys. So thank you so much for all that you do for this running community. And again, for Runner's Story. Much love to you guys. Absolutely adore you. And thank you to all of our listeners. Make sure you like, share, comment. We would love Shawn's story to get out there. We love that the stories get shared. That's the coolest thing, is when we get tagged in something and someone else has shared it and we're like, whoa, that's really cool. And give us feedback. We love to hear what spoke out to you. And so we absolutely love and adore that, and that people get to know each other. That's really what it's about, is just deepening our running community, deepening our roots, and because we're stronger together. All right, guys, until next time, go run your story, because every story needs to be heard.